All right. So Yael was speaking about greenhouse gas and climate change, and I would like to start by asking you if you know how much of the greenhouse gases are coming from the energy system. About. How much of the greenhouse gases emitted by humanity is related to the energy system? Electricity, heating, transport. 70%. So any change to our, if you want to tackle climate change and deal with what Yoav was mentioning, we must do something very dramatic with our energy system. And I'm going to talk really briefly about global energy trends and the main challenges it poses. So I put here some of the main global energy challenges, providing to all people all around the world, energy which is low carbon, because obviously we need to tackle climate change, reliable, something that you know that will be there, secure, it won't stop at some point, affordable, because if it's too expensive, it's not good, and sustainable. We don't want that energy would come on the expense of nature, on the environment, health, etc. So bear these challenges in mind, and we'll see what's going on. So the first one, I think the most significant challenge is to provide energy to all, because energy is a key for prosperity, for wealth, for health. And this is some data about energy poverty. Energy poverty, people who have no access to electricity. About 1.3 billion people around the world, or fifth of the humanity, do not have access to electricity. This is amazing. We tend to think that everybody, at least here, my students tend to think that everybody live like they do, that they have, say, switch on, switch off, computer. No. Fifth of humanity don't have access to energy, to electricity. In India, 55% of households in the rural area have electricity compared to 93% in urban areas, meaning that 45% in rural area has no access to good electricity service. This is really amazing. So Africa and Asia are where we need to put more effort to provide those people with good quality of life, led by energy. And I just want to show you how energy poverty looks like. So meaning if you don't have electricity, you cannot pump water, so you need to use your muscle power, usually done by women and children. So this is really important for giving equal opportunities for women and for children, meaning that you cannot study at home at night because you have no electricity, you cannot read. And this is how you fetch your energy to cook your meal. Again, done by women and children usually, and think about the time dedicated just to gather energy to prepare your food. So this is where we want to do. And if we look at the trends for demand, energy demand, this is a forecast for energy demand. We have here demand until these years, and this is the future. We see that Asia and Middle East and Africa are going to consume more energy. And this is good because they lack access to energy. But if we want to increase demand so much, we need to match it with the sufficient supply. So let's look what happened on supply side. Now I start with this graph, which gives you give you a snapshot of the energy world in 2013. It hasn't changed dramatically since then. Note that this is energy, meaning not electricity only, but also heat and transport. All the energy needs. So nearly 80% is provided by fossil fuels, coal, gas, and oil, okay? Now we see that 19% is provided by renewable energy, which is good. But then if we look inside the renewable energy, we can divide it into two groups. 10% provided by modern renewable, and 9% by traditional biomass. What is traditional biomass? This is traditional biomass. Unsustainable, not healthy, okay? So traditional biomass is anything that you burn to generate energy, usually for cooking, has immense health effect, indoor effects, breathing, and again, who is fetching the biomass. So if we go back to this graph, we want to get, we're not standing on 19%, but rather on 10%. In this 10% of renewables, we have 4% which is providing heat directly, and the 1.3 electricity provided by wind, solar, biomass, and geothermal, and nearly 4% provided by hydropower. Now, Yoav was telling you about what's going to be in terms of water regime. This will have immense impact on the availability of water for hydropower. So our potential generation of electricity from hydropower is likely to be reduced. Have a look at, I guess you know what's going on in Venezuela. A huge dam provides electricity for the capital. Droughts, ongoing droughts just made these green and good energy sources unavailable. They changed the working week to 3 working weeks to tackle this issue of lack of available electricity. So hydropower is good, but we need to bear in mind the future scenarios. And we have here nearly 0.8% of biofuels to transport. Now, we read a lot about how much renewable energy is putting online, and indeed in 2014, half of new capacity was renewable. New capacity meaning that what's installed in 2014, they already have lots of installed capacity, but the additional was mostly renewable, which is good. In 2015, it was even better. More renewable were put online. I circled here that some 147 gigawatts of renewable electricity came online in 2015, the largest annual increase ever, and as much as Africa's entire power generation capacity. So lots of renewable were put online to provide electricity. So let's look at what's going in the electricity. Before that, let's see where the investment in renewable were taking place in 2014. This is a report of IRENA, which was discussed 2014. So if we look at the second line, so the investment in renewable power, taking out large dams, China, United States, Japan, United Kingdom, and Germany. But if we look at the investment per GDP unit, we see that developing countries are putting lots of effort compared to the GDP on renewables. So it's Burundi, Kenya, Honduras, Jordan, Uruguay, countries that we don't hear so much about in the renewable world, but they invest a lot in renewable power. If we look at PV, look, China and the United States are leading here in nearly all the renewable technology. But it's interesting to see the other countries following them. China is really leading about it. Now let's focus on the electricity, because most of the renewables that we are interested in, wind and solar, is for generating electricity and not for transportation. So this is only electricity. How renewables doing in electricity? So still 77% of electricity today is generated by coal and gas, mostly coal. Coal is cheap, it provides lots of energy, and when you want to bring lots of electricity to undeveloped places, it makes sense economically to use the cheapest fuel, which is coal, but it has the price is high. But still, most of our energy system is based on coal, and some nuclear. Nearly 23% is renewable, and again, hydropower providing 16%, nearly 17%. We spoke about hydropower before, but we see also 3% of wind, solar PV, and other renewable generation. Now, what's the main problem with these 3 categories of electricity generation? What challenges do they pose to the energy system? They pose few. To start with, these are intermittent energy sources, meaning that they are on and off. We have sun only some hours of the day. We have wind, but we don't know exactly how much and how much electricity will be generated. So a huge challenge when we're moving toward renewable electricity system, which we're aiming for, is to integrate these intermittent energy sources into our energy system. So we see here in red demand curve, meaning how much electricity we use along the day, whereas in black and we have the wind supply, and here in brown we have the sun electricity, generated solar energy supplied, and we see that there is a mismatch between supply and demand. Now, where insufficient generation is a problem because we won't have electricity, overgeneration is equally a problem. When we have overgeneration in the system, we don't know what to do with it yet. So these are two main challenges, getting with oversupply and overgeneration. And obviously, there is a missing link here, which is energy storage. Now, energy storage is a huge opportunity for businesses, for technology, for startups. And we have many ways to store energy, starting from pump hydro, meaning when you have excess supply, you lift water up. And when you need this energy, you just open a dam and you generate clean energy. So this is one way to store energy. We hear a lot about batteries. Batteries technology is advancing, but still there are lots of issues. Some of them are environmental. The material we use for batteries is not that good. But we have batteries, Tesla battery for homes. We have also utility scale batteries, which is a farm of batteries to store electricity. We have fuel cell, hydrogen. We can store energy in hydrogen. We can store energy also in heat. So this is a way. But we have to find the right mix to allow all these storage technologies and options to be integrated in our energy system to get over the intermittency issue of the renewable link. And the last challenge which I'm going to speak of today is managing decentralized energy system. Our old energy system was very simple, few generation, big generation power plants, then transmission networks which bring electricity to the factories, to households, to everything, to all the consumers. But when we move to renewable and to small, large, medium-scale renewable generation, we decentralize our energy system, meaning that we have to invest more in energy management of supply, but also of demand. Demand is becoming a huge and important resource for the system. And again, another opportunity for businesses, for technology, is this energy management system, which manage both supplies and demand and help us to bring this together. So these are, again, only three of the challenges. Providing energy to all, it needs to be sustainable, it needs to be reliable, secure, affordable, lots of opportunities, but this is the way forward if we want to keep prosperity and tackle climate change. Thank you very much.